Oops, there we go. Chris Hamilton here. And my apologies for getting this started a little late. The problem is that my internet's been going up and down. So as such, I just, once again, I apologize on that. And we'll get this started, and I'll try to go through as quick as humanly possible here. So, and I'll also send a replay out to you later on this as well. So, hey, first things first, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. My name is Chris Hamilton, once again, salestipaday.com. And we're going through social selling success on leveraging LinkedIn. So the agenda is like 10 tactics and over 90 slides that'll help you out with this. You're going to walk away with a lot of information. I do have a special offer at the end of this. Just to keep us on track, I am going to go super quick, but if you want to get a hold of me, if you're in North America, you can text me with questions at 403-630-1243, or you can use the chat box. I'll be checking that periodically and trying to get that going as well. Unfortunately, I've got a problem with that. I'm having multiple problems today. So anyways, when it comes to LinkedIn and social selling, what proof do I have? So before I go into this, just to let you know, I'm actually a part owner of a software company, and it started up in kind of the late March, early April timeframe. And I have used LinkedIn to build a pipeline of roughly $4.5 to $5 million worth of opportunities in that time frame. And I'm sure anywhere from kind of 20 to 50% of those are going to close and within the next year. So I did it almost 99% using LinkedIn. And how I did that, I'm going to show you how that process works, and I'll show it to you today. So first thing I say is, what proof do I have? So if you go to LinkedIn social selling dashboard, one of the things that you're going to find is it ranks you on a scale out of 100 to say where you at with social selling, especially using LinkedIn. And if you could tell in the upper right-hand corner, I'm in the top 1% of my industry for social selling and top 1% in my network. And obviously, if you take a look at the people in my industry, I'm not necessarily concerned about my network, but people in my industry, I am literally 4 times greater as a ranking compared to people in my industry. So they get a 22 out of 100. I get anytime between kind of 88 and 91 as a ranking out of 100. So like 91%. My profile is among the top 1% of profiles viewed among professionals like myself. And as it relates to people I'm connected to, it's basically in the top 3% of my connections. I'm connected to a lot of #1 best-selling authors that show up higher than me. So I'll go with the 3% as opposed to being way down at the bottom. So a couple of things I'm going to do today. I'm going to go into some buyer profiles, the seller profiles as it relates to LinkedIn, so you can understand social selling. I'm going to go into a few tactics that you can use, and then how you can weave it all together to start cranking on LinkedIn and leveraging it for social selling. So first thing you need to know about is buyer profiles. So 49% of buyers research vendors through their LinkedIn profiles. 50% of buyers avoid sales professionals with incomplete profiles. So, basically people are going to LinkedIn and they are trying to find people that will help them with their requirements for a product or service, and they're looking for you. So if you don't have a complete profile, you're not getting found. The other thing too, I just want you to understand, these stats come straight from LinkedIn, is the average cold call appointment nets you, this is a report from IBM that LinkedIn quoted, which is about 2.5%. In fact, actually, there's another report out there from Baylor University called "Has Cold Calling Gone Dead?" which shows that the success rate is actually about 0.5%. That's pretty darn dismal. Now, the other thing that I want you to just think about prior to us going into the full details here is that leveraging referrals will increase your odds of sales success by 2-fold to 4-fold, or 200% to 400% greater. So that's one of those things. Just put that in the back of your mind for later on in this. So as I say, most buyers they're using the internet and specifically LinkedIn to find the solutions. What you need to do, make sure you have a complete profile, and also on top of that, make sure that you're leveraging LinkedIn to get found. Now, that's the buyer side of things. Now, on the social selling side of things, hopefully these statistics will point you in the right direction to understand how and why you want to leverage LinkedIn. So I'm just going to literally use the second definition here of these definitions. So social selling is when salespeople use social media to interact directly with their prospects. And of course, obviously, LinkedIn is the #1 social media platform for business people. So social selling statistics. And literally, if you look at the top, social sellers have 45% more opportunities per quarter and 51% more likely to obtain quota. And then on top of that, sales reps are 70% more likely to get an appointment from a cold connection request on LinkedIn if they cite a common LinkedIn group. I'll skip over a couple of these, but the biggest one at the very bottom is, almost 73% of salespeople using social selling as part of their sales process outperform their peers and exceed their quota 23 times or 23% more often. So the statistics are in your favor if you're leveraging LinkedIn as part of your sales process. Then you are going to succeed and outrank your peers and your competition. And so that's kind of where I go through this right now. It's, the other thing too you need to look at is that social selling isn't something you should be looking at in the future. It's really something you need to jump on today in order to succeed and blow away your competition. The other thing too is I don't reference it in here, but I have a post up on my LinkedIn profile that shows that if you're leveraging LinkedIn, it's on my salestipaday.com website, is that if you're leveraging LinkedIn, you can go from sales rep to VP sales. I think it's like 40% faster, and you gain a significantly higher income in that time frame, obviously, because you're moving yourself forward. So it's something you really should be taking a look at. So now I go back to this social selling dashboard. If you guys want to figure out what your social selling ranking is via LinkedIn, just go to linkedin.com/sales/SSI. The other thing you need to look at here is these little boxes. When this page pulls up, there's little boxes here. If you click on these links, what happens is a little presentation pops up, 7-page presentation. When you walk through that presentation, it'll show you how to increase the four different areas that LinkedIn looks at for your social selling ranking or your social selling index ranking. And very great information in each one of these that'll help you boost your sales coming out the gate. So once again, social selling isn't something you do in the future. It's something you got to do. It's part of the here and now. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an understanding of the buyer profiles, the seller profiles. Now, what I'm going to go into now is leveraging a premium account. I always get asked, are premium accounts worth it? And I say yes, 100%. 18% of LinkedIn users have a premium account, which means 82% do not have a premium account. And there's a whole bunch of benefits I'll get into in a sec that just explain that. This is a screenshot from LinkedIn from a few months ago. They've taken this page down, but I love this page, and I'll show you on the next slide why I love it, because it goes through the differences between a free account and a paid for account. So I'm going to go into a couple of these really quickly. Is that one of the best things is you can see who's viewed your profile. On a free account, you only get to see the last 4 people that viewed your profile. On a premium account, you get to see the last 90 days. So I get anywhere between kind of 250 and 600 people on a rolling average that I can see have viewed my profile. Then there's a whole bunch of analytics that allow me to drill down as to who's looking at my profile. And guess what? People are coming to your profile for a reason. And that reason is they're looking for someone to solve a problem or give them a solution. And it's a great way. I have used this process going through and connecting with people who have viewed my profile as a means to grow my sales as well. A couple other things I'm going to just go into right now. Profiles per search. On a free account, you only get to see 100. On a premium account, it says 500 here. Now it's actually 1,000, and sometimes it's even greater. Why that's different? So think about it this way. If you're competing against someone, they have a premium account, and they do a search on LinkedIn for, say, a CFO in a specific area, you're going to see 100 search results. What they're going to see is they're going to see upwards of 900 more people. So it means more prospects they could be going after. The other thing too is that if you have a free account and you have a premium account, a free account, you're only limited to a certain amount of profile views a month. So what you could do is if you're going through and you're searching on somebody or a specific title on LinkedIn, at some point in time in the month, LinkedIn will cut you off and say, you have no more searches available to you. Go to a premium account, right? So, and the last one here is save searches. For the free account, you get 3 save searches. For a premium account, you get 7 to start with. Why that's important is because if you set up a save search in LinkedIn, so if you go in, you set parameters up on a search that you want, you can save that search. On a weekly basis, if you set this up properly, LinkedIn is going to actually send you, they will send you potential sales leads. And why I say that is anyone that's changed anything in their profile or got a new job, LinkedIn will find and send you that information for that thing. So let's say you set something up for a CFO in a company and you get back 100 search results. And of those 100, probably 20, 25 are going to be people that are in a new position. If they're in a new position, within the first 3 months of them starting that position, they are up to 10 times more likely to make a product or service change in their organization. So that's the time to go after them. So that's one of the other benefits of having that as well in there. The other thing too is LinkedIn, they used to, I don't know if they still do. I haven't looked in this in a while, but you can get if you haven't had a premium account in 12 months, they will give you a premium account to try for free. How you do that, go into the upper right-hand corner, click on your profile picture or whatever it is, and go down to the account, hit manage, and you can sign up for a free 30-day trial or just go upgrade right here. Same thing will happen as well. So that's the differences about looking at getting a premium account, beating your competition. Next one is, and I'm going super fast on this, sorry people, I'm just trying to play catch up from starting late, building out a profile. And if you are, you need to build out a profile. Once again, if you have potential buyers, 50% of potential buyers, 49% are coming on LinkedIn looking at your profile for a product or service because they're in buy mode, and you have an insufficient profile or a lacking profile, 50% of them are going to discount you right off the bat. So nothing like getting yourself out of the race right off the bat. So I'm going to click through and just give you a few profile tips. I'm not going to go through every single one of these because I talk about them in this next slide, but a couple I'm going to highlight is putting your picture in increases your profile views up to 11 times. Adding your industry, and I'll get to this in a sec, will increase your views up to 15 times. Putting education in increases your views up to 10 times. And then putting skills in gets 13 times more views than if you don't have skills in your profile. And so just a quick one. 1, get your picture in there. 2, this is your tagline. Typically what LinkedIn does is they'll pull your latest job and put it in there. Don't do that. Change it. Make sure that it speaks to people. So what I do is I'm like your small and medium business marketing resource. I'll help you generate up to 10 times more sales leads. Ask me how. So I'm basically saying, here's what I am, here's what I do, and here's my call to action. The industries, as I said, it gives you up to, I think it was 13 times more views. Make sure you pick your industry correctly so that people will find you. Add your email. If you got instant messaging, put it in there. Put your phone number in there so people have a way to contact you. And then put in your social media profiles and your websites. Your LinkedIn link down here, you can actually edit that and make it so it doesn't read alphanumeric. So go through, try to find a way to make it so it works for you. And last but not least, try to get to 500 connections as quickly as humanly possible, because the fact is after 500 connections, people won't see how many connections you have, and it makes you look like you're super connected on LinkedIn. One of the other things I often talk about too in your profile is you can add videos, slides, documents, a whole bunch of different things. So you can add it in your summary. You can add it in your profile as well. So here's one. It's a job that I had for a while. I quit about 2 years ago in this company. But what happened was I put up some videos that I had up on YouTube that you can add in. So it's a great way to get people to connect and look at that sort of stuff. Here's how you do that. So if you go into your profile, your summary, there's a little box with a plus sign down in the corner there. If you can see that, click on there and it says here, add the media. So document, photo, link, video, or a presentation is what you can add. Now, here's the thing. Adding your profile picture will get you seen up to 13 times greater. Here's a great little tool that you can use. It's free. It's called Photo Feeler, photofeeler.com. Go sign up. What it does is you have to look at 10 people's profiles and rank them on competence, likability, and influentialness. And then what happens is once you do that, your picture that's uploaded, people will go through and vote on it and tell you if it's good. Ideally, you want to try to get these as high as humanly possible. Apparently, I'm not very likable. I think I can tell because I've not got a big smile on my face. So I need to fix that up as well. One of the things that LinkedIn does on your profile, or one of the things that it helps you out with, is in the upper right-hand corner, as you're building out your profile, it'll walk you through a whole bunch of things that you have to do to your profile. So the nice thing is you go from beginner level all the way up to all-star level. My suggestion is, with the recommendations they make, spend 2 to 3 minutes a day over a period of about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a great looking profile that's going to get attracted or bring people in as well. Here's the other thing too, is that one of the things that you can do is if you have this notify my network, so it's on the right-hand side about halfway down your profile, you can see this yes, turn it to no. And the reason being is every time you change something in your profile, it starts to alert people. Hey, this person's changed a job. Hey, this person's changed a job. Even if you haven't changed a job, even if you change one thing in your profile, it just alerts people. So I always say turn that to no. The other thing too is if you're having a tough time writing your profile or making it, beefing it up and making it salesy, one of the places you can go is a website called upwork.com. And there's a bunch of freelancers on there that are professionals that can help beef up your profile as well. And yet another tip. This information comes from literally it's about a year ago, Q3 2015. 55 million visitors to LinkedIn on a quarterly basis. They access LinkedIn through a mobile device, iPad, tablet, iPhone, Android, whatever it is, right? This accounts for 55% of all the unique visitors to LinkedIn. It's a 31% increase from the year before. And then on top of that, if you project out to about this time frame right now, basically about 72 million people will be visiting LinkedIn via a mobile device. So why is this important? Okay, so LinkedIn's mobile platform is mediocre at best. But one of the things that I find that drives me nuts is you have to search through a profile to try to see if they've got a phone number or a way to connect with them or an email address or anything like that. This information on the mobile on the right here is pulled in from your profile in your desktop. One of the things, though, that I noticed is in the summary, if your first line, if you put your telephone number and your email address, it gets pulled in down here. So this gives people ready access to a way to contact with you or make connection with you. So I highly recommend you take a look at doing something like that. So we've talked about a premium account. I've talked about beefing up your profile. I'm going to show you some advanced search tips and tricks. And once you learn this, it's like LinkedIn makes so much more sense. You get way better. You're going to end up with way better search results, and you're going to spend less time searching, and you're going to get better qualified potential prospects coming back. So literally there's 5 tactics that you have to learn here. 5 things, super simple to do. First thing though is you need to use LinkedIn's advanced search. So that's up at the top bar. Don't use the search bar, go in here, advanced search. What happens is it brings up this advanced search people search box with a whole bunch of different parameters that you can use. Now, when you're using this, first thing you need to know is quotations. So quotations are for an exact phrase. So for example, down here, if you can see it, it says vice president. I've got it in quotations. Now, why do I want to do that? If I don't have quotations, when I put vice president in, it's going to bring up vice chairman, vice counsel, presidents, vice presidents. It's going to bring back a whole bunch of results that I just don't want to see. By putting brackets around it, it's going to bring in specifically those people that may be in a current position where they are a vice president or a chief financial officer or whatever. The next thing is putting brackets in. So brackets allow you to combine terms and modifiers. And I'll get to modifiers in a sec here, but and, or, and not are the modifiers on LinkedIn, which is search terms 3, 4, and 5. In a second here, I'll get to those. But in this case, I want to look for vice presidents where they have something where it says sales or marketing. And so long story short, when I put this kind of search term in, it ends up going into, it brings back a whole bunch of more results. So way better for you. Now we're going to get into these modifiers and, or, and not. These, by the way, when you use them, they have to be in uppercase. So the and modifier is when you're searching for two terms that absolutely have to be included together. So for example, I want to look for a vice president, sales and marketing. It's not going to bring back vice president sales, vice president marketing. It's going to bring back vice president sales and marketing results. So I'm going to give you an example. When I looked up, this is about a year ago I did this slide, and it changes all the time, but just to give you an example, Vice President Sales and Marketing in Calgary, I did that search and I found 35 people in Calgary. I know I live in a city with 1.5 million people. There's not 35 VPs of sales and marketing. When I put the brackets and put an or VP, because the fact is sometimes people don't use vice president, they use VP, sales and marketing. I almost got 2,200 results coming back. So I would have missed out on 2,164 potential people that would be in my target demographic. So this way you hone in on these people. The last one is using the not. This is when you want to exclude a particular term. So in this case, I want to look for a vice president of sales. I do not want to see anyone that's a vice president of marketing. So here's how you use this advanced search. First of all, click on the advanced search. Start going through and add relationships. So you got first level, second level connections. You could put locations. You could put all the information in here. You could put other things down here. These are premium search filters. And guess what? As of January 1, I just found this out yesterday in an email. These are going away. So they might actually just include them for free on this advanced search side of things. So anyways, click your search, and then what happens is it brings back search results. So in this case, you know, I've searched on for vice president or a president or owner in a specific group. Nice thing about this is that if I reach out to somebody, and all these are first level connections, but if I had a second level connection, if I reached out to these people, then what I would do is I would say, hey, you and I are part of the Young Oil and Gas Professionals Calgary group. Here's what I do. I'm hoping that I can connect with you or book a meeting with you or do whatever with you. You're up to 70% more likely to get that appointment or request if you cite that common group. So there's another little tip for you as well. This page is now obsolete, but if you want to find out how to use the search terms, go to Google and just type in LinkedIn Advanced Search Tips. And a page will come up and a bunch of results will come up. When you get those results coming in, you're going to be able to see where and how to use this in a lot better. So there you go. So now gone through, talked about the reason why you want to use this on buyer and seller profiles, setting up your profile, using the advanced search. I'm going to go through two different things, which approaching your first level connections and approaching your second level connections. And so what you want to do is when you're approaching your first level connections are people that you're directly connected to. So for example, Dave Kirpin here, you see his little first there, that means that I'm directly connected to him. One of the tips I always say is you should be strengthening these relationships with specific first level connections. And I'll get to that in a second when I talk about the second level connections, but you're going to use your first level connections to get introductions to your second level connections. So here's what you do. If you want to reach out to your first level connections, go into this advanced search up here, hit first level connections, pick the city, pick the title, hit search, whatever search parameters in there. All of a sudden it shows up with, here's how many people I'm connected to, for example, vice president of sales and marketing. And so there's 25. That's great. This is low hanging fruit. If I sell specifically into sales and marketing, VPs of sales and marketing, then guess what? These are the people that I want to be connecting with, low hanging fruit, see if I can get myself in the door. Here's what I do. This is a connection letter that I use. So my first level connection letter, I just simply say, hey, hello, your name, hope all is well. I'm working with this company. Here's what we do. Here's our products and services, and here's some of the benefits. I've attached a couple of documents, brochures if I have them, or a link to the website. You got time for a quick call about this? If you don't think that it falls into the world, you can also say, I know it doesn't fall into the world, but I was hoping you could point me in the right direction at the company. Please let me know if you have time to talk next week, or grab a coffee. I'll be downtown, whatever days. It'd be nice to know what you do, so I might be able to help you out as well. And hit send. And that's how you start that conversation. Now, I would recommend take this out of LinkedIn, use your email, and connect with that person directly. Now, here's where the killer stuff happens, is your second level connections. So in this case, if I were to start looking at second level connections, I actually increase my ability to reach out to people by up to 78 times greater in this case. If I really wanted to expand it, I could add more geographical areas in there as well. So now that was approaching first level connections. This, in a nutshell, is social selling. This one topic that we're going to learn. So pay attention. If you've fallen asleep, take a drink of coffee, and I will go through this. So approaching your second level connections on LinkedIn. This, by the way, has made me hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in income, and closed millions of dollars of sales. And I'm going to give it to you, and it's going to take 3 minutes to go through. And this is the power of LinkedIn right here. So once again, go into this advanced search, pick the second level connections, pick your area, pick your topics, hit your search button. What happens is it starts to bring up people that fall into this realm. So let's say, for example, I want to reach out to this Gary Leash fellow. I'm not connected to him, but I know people are connected to him. And the way I see this, you can't really see it, says 16 shared connections down here. When I click on that, it brings these people up. So I can go through Jason, Randy, or Cam and see if I can get introduced to Gary. Now, the other thing too is if those people aren't strong enough, I can click on this bottom thing if I have more than 3 connections, and it'll bring all the people that I'm connected to, and I can find a path into getting an introduction to this person. Then what you want to do, so remember this, what you want to do is you want to write an email that they can copy and paste and send off to this person. If you leave it in their court to come up with an email to introduce you, guess what? Chances are it's not going to happen. People don't have the time to do it. Dumb it down and just do it for them. So in this case, same thing. Put a little bit of blurb here. I say, hey, here's what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. Here's what I do. I see that you're this person on LinkedIn. Can you introduce them to me? Here's an intro that you can actually use. Introduction to Chris Hamilton. Then you go down here and you go, hey, here's what I do, blah, blah, blah. And, just let me know if you don't mind doing this. When I do this, it's incredible how much I get people doing this for me. So here's the scoop. I've only had 4 people reach out to me and ask for an introduction on LinkedIn in the last 12 months. That is 0.1% of all my connections. So 99.9% of people on LinkedIn are not doing this. Here's the kicker on this. When I send this out, I usually get upwards of 50% of the people that I ask for a connection into an email conversation, a meeting, or a phone conversation. So literally what I'm doing is I am increasing the likelihood that I am getting a connection through LinkedIn with a qualified buyer by 20 to 40 times greater than cold calling. So if you're cold calling, this hands down will absolutely change your income within the next year if you just follow this one process. Why does it work? Typical sales close at 25%, referrals close at 50%. Referrals convert at 3 to 5 times better. 65% of all new business comes from referrals, yet only 11% of salespeople ask for referrals. LinkedIn is the best way to see who is in your target demographic you're going after, who you know that's connected to them that you can leverage to get into the door with that person. Now, there is a whole bunch that I've been talking about there. I'm going to show you a quick little process that you can do by tying some of this stuff together and succeeding in sales. So first things first, create an avatar, look for a title, location, industry. Then what you want to do is, I'm looking for a VP sales and marketing in this case. Use the advanced search. So that was that bar up there, hit the advanced search, put all the stuff in that you need to do. You start getting these results coming back. Select the ones that you want to go after, right? Take a look through this profile and see who you want to go after. So there's a whole bunch of different people. So in this case, like a Jay McNeil, for example, if I click down here, I say, well, none of these people could introduce me. Click down here and I see the first person, my buddy Jim Demas. He would introduce me. Great. He'll introduce me into that person. Step 4, what I would suggest is once you find these people, put them into a spreadsheet and start tracking it and show kind of where you went, what you did, if you asked people for a connection, all that good stuff. Then what you do, create a draft letter like this and start sending your first level connections a request to get into these second level connections. Start tracking your results on this spreadsheet. And that way, the reason being is because what you want to do is some people will make those introductions, some won't. Some that don't, chances are their emails get buried, they just forget about it, stuff like that. You can always go back and ask them again. So that's where I say just go into this follow-up mode. So you see where the connections were made, ask your connections to resend if they didn't send it. You could potentially use another connection, or if you're trying to really get in, you can use in-mails or connection requests to reach these people. I usually cycle around every kind of 30 to 90 days on this spreadsheet and go back to the people that didn't introduce me and just re-ask them. And 30 days later, if they haven't done it, then I ask someone new to introduce me. Don't take these contacts that you're creating and put them into a CRM yet. Wait until you start getting the connections and the sales process happening. So that's kind of one of the tips that I put in there. And then literally, like, how much time does it take? I'll tell you what, just if I'm looking at trying to go after people on a weekly basis, what I do is kind of on a Saturday or Sunday, I'll go through LinkedIn and find 10, 20, 30, 40 different people, put them into that spreadsheet. And then every day, either early in the morning or later in the afternoon, I send it out to literally anywhere between kind of 3 and 5 people to make those introductions. If I send it out to 3, typically I'm going to get 1 person that I'm going to be connected with. If I send it out to 5, it's kind of 2 to 3 are going to end up, I'm going to get a connection to. So it's a fat, and it takes me only about 10 minutes to do this. If I do the heavy lifting on the weekends to create these little email messages that go out Monday through Friday, 10 to 15 minutes is all it takes. And I've got a super full pipeline based on just doing that. Does it work? Absolutely. Let me show you. This is a screenshot from a company I used to work for, from Salesforce. And it's the activity that I did. I ended up sending out 22 times more emails. I ended up booking 10 times more meetings, and I got 30 times more WebExes. These bottom 2 are all because of LinkedIn and how I leveraged LinkedIn. And literally, I did it in about half the time of the other salespeople in the company. There's my activity level against all the other salespeople in this company. So there you go. So here, we're done. That's it. Got a quick special offer I'm going to send out to you. Now, the other thing too, by the way, before you go, because I see people see special offer and exit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on an email thread after the fact. I'm going to put the replay on there, and then I've got at least 14 weeks of tips on how to use LinkedIn to generate more sales that'll come on a weekly basis to you as well. So just be aware of that as well. And the special offer will be in there as well. So here's my special offer. Look, I've got a LinkedIn membership site that has so much information on how to use LinkedIn. It includes a whole bunch of different courses that I've created. I've got some webinar replays. I've got new monthly content going up on this thing. I show you tips and tricks on using LinkedIn specifically to generate business on a regular basis. It's almost got it's actually over 40 hours of content on this thing now. What you're going to learn, you're going to learn tons of tips and tricks from LinkedIn to land qualified meetings, some of the best ways to generate sales leads from LinkedIn, how to get found by B2B buyers, how to get 15 times more sales leads from qualified buyers, and much, much more. The other thing too, you're going to get access to all my future courses and books that I have coming out that I will post on this thing. And normally it is $39 a month. Now it's $19 because you sat through this whole presentation. I will give it to you for $19 a month. There's current value of about $1,200 in there, and it's going to be increasing approximately about $100 to $500 worth of content each month. The other thing too is that there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you join and you don't like it, you know what? You can cancel. You'll get your money back. The other thing on top of it, all the content on it's downloadable. So if you actually go in there and join, steal my content, as I tell people, go in, try to steal my content. Hey, go for it. But I think once you see the quality of the stuff, you'll stay as a member. You know what? Take a look at it this way. If you get 10 new qualified meetings a week, you get 50% into a funnel, a 30% close, you know what? 78 more sales a year just based on that sort of stuff. Here it is. Like I say, 30-day money-back guarantee. Monthly subscribers can quit at any time. I'm in Canada, so I'll give you in my world is the average sales rep in Canada makes $30 an hour. My monthly pan's 19. It's US, so that's about 25. If you lock in now, that price will never go up. So you have to work about 45 to 50 minutes 1 month just to pay for this course, but the course will more than benefit you and allow you to grow your sales astronomically. So, hey, if you want to reach out to me, Chris@salestipaday.com. Phone me if you want, if you're in North America, 403-630-1243. Last but not least, connect with me on LinkedIn. Just look up Chris Hamilton in Calgary. I'm probably the person that shows up at the top on that. And then that way, we can connect on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, I am still looking off to the side on my other computer at any questions that come in. And that, my friends, is the entire presentation in a nutshell. And so just give me a sec. I'm going to try to turn my camera on, see if I can get it on. Oops, there we go. Hey, I'm on. If you have any questions, great. If you don't have any questions, I'm always open after the fact. You can always reach out to me afterwards, Chris@salestipaday.com. More than happy to jump on a phone call with you, 10, 15 minutes, try to point you in the right direction, get you working. As I say, a lot of the stuff I went through today, I'm going to send the replay. You can go back through it. I've leveraged it to literally make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in income. The other thing is I have sold millions of dollars of products and services specifically by leveraging LinkedIn. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about this company that I work for, where I showed you my the activity in Salesforce.com. One of the things that this company did was they had cold call Fridays, and it was the craziest thing. Why they had these things, I don't know, but I leveraged LinkedIn to book meetings, and I booked, when I would reach out to, probably in the 2-hour period, about 20 to 40 people. I would book anywhere from 10 to 20 meetings. My cohorts would make maybe 10 calls, 20 calls, and they would book 0 or 1 meeting. So I was getting 10 to 20 times more meetings booked in that same time frame just by using LinkedIn. And the other thing too is, you know what? I wasn't picking up the phone, interrupting somebody's day and getting them aggravated with me right off the bat. So once again, these tactics work. They work well. If you remember just going after your second level connections to get introduction to, or your first level connections to get introductions to second level connections, that is where the gold is that lies in with LinkedIn. So haven't seen any questions. I'm going to say bye to all. I've got to get running. I got to get to a meeting. Once again, I'm extremely sorry that this started a bit late today, but thank you ever so much for showing up. I greatly appreciate your time. Hopefully it was well worth it. And everyone have a wonderful day and a great holiday season to you as well. Thanks a lot. Bye.